It's time for 8-Bit Computer Club. Tonight, we're taking a look at this TI computer 994A and why the keyboard doesn't work. Well, why is it? Hello. Oh, hi. You know what I didn't do, though? I didn't turn the Insta off. There we go. David Akers, what's going on, my friend? Zoe is here. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good Friday night, wherever in the world you are. And it is time for us to hang out and do our 8-bit computing. I think it's a great idea. David, what you been up to? I just checked. I believe you did you post something in the 8-bit computer club on Discord? I believe you did. No, I know that was, where was that, Alex? I'm trying to remember now. Oh, Cab Kipper says load the 8-bit CC, 8, 1 and run. All right. Got a couple of things to do tonight. We got a big, busy night. Oh, I didn't finish updating my stream title because we're going to do a couple of things tonight. Let's take a look here. We're going to take a second look at this TI 994A and the keyboard. We've already decided that we're going to make it. We decided that we do like it for 8-bit computing. So we're going to look at this membrane keyboard on that. And we're going to go back to the Commodore 64. And before we get into the demo scene, or before we get into any games either, we're going to do the latest firmware. Why is there such a space between that? Interesting. Oh, look at that. That is like, why is it so far apart? C64. Firmware. Hopefully get some USB mouse support built right in. Demos. And more. That's a big space, isn't it? Cam Kipper says those membrane keyboards are pure trash. Puppy Kentrout, what's up? Zoe doing nothing. Just knitting that 26-foot scarf. Tom Baker. Scarf. Oh yeah, David says I haven't had time to 8-bit this week. That's okay. You're here now, and it is time to 8-bit. This will count towards your allotment. This will count credit towards your 8-bit computing this week. Houdini7, what's up? Houdini7 says, I'm here. We can start now. Now, this is I believe, our 9th streaming or meeting, our 9th meeting for the 8-bit computer club. And what I generally do with all of my experiments, first of all, I didn't even know 8-bit computer club was going to do so much here in the 2026. The first time I did this was mostly just to get my ass kickstarted on, and not the Kickstarter, but to kick myself into doing the game that I want to develop for the 8-bit computers, right? For the Commodore 64 specifically. But then suddenly I found out that I'm not the only one who's passionate about the Commodore 64. And guess what? I'm not the only person who got a Commodore 64 Ultimate. Surprise. But this week after week has been the thing I've been looking forward to. And it's kind of blossomed from just me exploring things independently to being an event. So you guys have made that a lot of fun. Captain says, I've been sick most of the week. Once this cold plague grabs you, it does not want to let go. Chris Albright says, reading the club minutes now. That's right. Yeah, we're going to read the club minutes. That's right, Chris. At the top of the show, we'll read our club minutes. Cryptic, wait a minute. Cryptic skills. Oh, cryptic skills. I like that. It sounded out. I do like the old typewriter. The old typewriter on Noonie on the Sesame Street. Why was he on wheels? Was that a thing? Why was the typewriter on wheels on Sesame Street? Was that a thing at some point in time? But Cryptic Skills, thank you so much. Welcome in. Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. I know I am. It just got a lot better. Captain Kipper says, yes, we used to have typewriters. We would wheel them around. We only had 3 typewriters for the whole company, and we had to wheel them around. But because Houdini 7 says because he would look stupid if he was on stilts. Is anyone going to be getting the Neo Geo re-release? Cryptic Skills? Absolutely. I'm excited about that. And matter of fact, we'll probably talk about that more on the Play Retro show not this coming Sunday, which we're doing, but on the following Sunday. If you don't know what the Play Retro show is, I do a podcast with Scott Johnson once a week on Wednesday nights. And we talk about retro video games, and I'm very excited about the Neo Geo release. That's going to be a little more hardware. I haven't finished. I've started my studying on it yet, and I'm not sure if it's going to be like the analog N64 and is it going to be is it going to be an FPGA type thing? I'm assuming. And anyway, the Neo Geo had one not that long ago, like about 5 years ago. There was a re-release of the Neo Geo, and I see them occasionally at retro gaming conventions, and they go for a pretty good price. But I'm glad to see those are going to start becoming available again. I'm not sure if it's related to the original one. When I say the original re-release that was going on, or if there's something else. Dane Internet, what's up? Cryptic Skills says the Retro Show is my favorite podcast. You and Scott do very good. Yes. Captain Kipper says typewriters had daisy wheels. Oh, okay. So Cryptic Skills confirms, says no FPGA, no emulation. So Analog got a little bit of beef recently last year, the company Analog, for saying that it wasn't emulation for their N64 version, but people argued, well, yeah, it is, because it is FPGA, but it's still emulation. It's just not like software emulation, where we usually think of being slower and less accurate, less cycle accurate. But anyway, so Cryptic Skills does say, they say it's a 1-to-1 using new old style ASC2 chips. I'm interested. I like I said, I haven't had a chance to really read. I've only read the headlines. Saw a couple of things. I think Time Extension had a longer article on it, and I was going to go back and read that. But welcome in. Oh, hi, it's 8-Bit Computer Club. I'm Brian Dunaway, and we're gonna do a lot of 8-Bitting tonight. Dan Anderton, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good weekend. You can use the new original AES carts on it too, and vice versa. I'm excited. I have some Neo Geo. I have the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which I really love, and we covered a couple of the games from the original system. I'm pretty excited about checking that out, and it kind of makes me think that maybe I need to go ahead and quickly pick up the AES carts before they start getting too expensive. Let's take a look. I want to show you guys what we're looking at tonight. So last week we fired up our Texas Instrument TI-99 4A. Or we did fire it up, actually. We turned on the power, and it booted up to the screen, the boot screen, and then it said to hit any key, and we didn't have any joy. So earlier off screen, I just opened it up to see how long it would take me. It wasn't too difficult, and I may post a video later on the disassembly of this if you guys have interest in that. But if this is not advertising, by the way. This just happens to be the screwdriver set that I use. So just because I use this particular one doesn't mean it holds any special place in 8-bit whatever. It's just the one that I personally use. Oh, there's an ad. Oh, what is that? Oh, I see what you mean. I'm advertising. No, Fantech gives me no money. Blah blah blah. I just like I just like that. Now, but also I got old trusty. So this is this guy, little cheap thing. I don't even know where I even picked this thing up. This thing here has been with me for a very long time, and it's got me through a lot of pinches. Every time I'm like, there's no way this thing will be able to unscrew a larger screw, and it always surprises me. It's able to get to places. It just seems to be just the perfect little, I don't even know where I got it from. But if I ever lost it, I'd be I'd be lost for sure. Yeah, you don't want any joy. You want keys, says Zoe, right? But we're gonna pop that open just very shortly. And we'll take a look at that, and we'll also get into some more demos, and we're also going to download the Commodore 64 firmware that's going to hopefully allow us, I guess I should go back to my previous screen, hopefully allow us to do native USB support. So I recently did a show with Tom Merritt and Sarah Lane and Roger over on Daily Tech News. They have I think some patron supported stuff that they review hardware and things. But anyway, I had recently talked about the Commodore 64 Ultimate, because me and Tom both got one, and I was talking about the things that we're kind of disappointed about or didn't, the things that were kind of the negatives basically. And one of the things I had said, well, in order to use a USB mouse, because I was having trouble finding a era appropriate mouse, but I did have one that was kind of functionally like what I wanted, and so I ordered this little dongle here. Allows me to plug in a 9-pin into the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Why is that important? Because until this latest firmware, you could not use a mouse to the USB. It was for data only, and so they've apparently fixed that in the latest firmware update. So we're gonna do that and look at some of the changes that they did on the latest firmware, and we'll also talk a little bit more about my other solution in case that sucks and it doesn't seem to pull as fast. If it's just like, oh, they put the support in there, but it sucks butt still. We'll see. But that's what is on the docket for tonight. Now, I believe this is either the 8th or 9th meeting of the 8-Bit Computer Club, and at number 10, I usually like to take a review of what I've done so far, because I didn't know this is going to turn into, I don't want to say project, but it's kind of a project. It's a bigger project, right? So it's starting to become its own thing. And I want to lean into what it's becoming. So we've had a pretty good bit of success on YouTube for these types of videos for the 8-Bit Computer Club. Not always so true with some of the other things we do. As a matter of fact, not everybody cares for the Twitch format, the live streaming format that we do. And so when I just leave those up on YouTube, now we have plenty of people that pop in and watch live. They think it's great. But when I leave the videos up for archival purposes, people come across them and they're disappointed that I'm hanging out talking with chat. So I'm working on OBS switches that will allow me to curate offline versions or non-live versions of what we're doing here. So that's kind of some of the things we're doing. So there's the 8-Bit Computer Club meetings from I guess, now you're caught up. There, that's what I was looking for. Now you're caught up. Now, it's Friday night. We need to warm up before we get into the nitty-gritty. So what we need to do is visit the scene. I'm going to start calling it the scene. All right? The demo scene is what I'm going to start calling. It's already called that. But now you're going to hear me say it when I say we're going to look at some demos on the scene. So I'm going to head over to Commodore.net. And if you go there, and then I think it's, just go to Commodore.net. And I'm going to go over to, let's see here, it's called Press Play. All right, I'm going to take you along for that real quick till I bring up the browser. Right, let's take a look here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's not the page I thought it was going to bring up. Oh, this is the new website. So I'll promote that real quick while we're doing it. All right, look. Hey, we got a website now. It's called 8-bit. It's 8bitcomputer.club. And I wasn't ready to show that to you, but there it is. Nonetheless. And it's going to be an archival of everything. It's going to have all after every episode or stream, I'm going to then post the links, and I'll also add this to the YouTube notes as well. But this would be a place for discussions, feedback if you wanted to, a place to get away from the internet, and get a little more personal. And also, one of its biggest reasons for living is because I've noticed that there seems to be a lack of good information about people's own local 8-bit computer club. So I want to start posting those here. So I've already listed us here. It's 8-bit computer club. Our email is 8bitcomputerclub@gmail.com. If you would like to join up, let me know. We'll start some type of membership somewhere, and we'll get all that. So that's a little early. That's a little early, but it's there. All right, let me go back to where I was meaning to go, which was the Commodore 64 page, which is where? Oh, there it is. All right. Let's get back over here. We never post this to the social media. Hey, look, you see yourself? There you go. All right. So if you go to Commodore.net, and then you head over to the press play area, you can then go down to see what's on the Commodore 64. And this is what comes packaged with it. We've watched some of these demos, and what demos are, if you don't know what they are, they're just little examples, usually set to SID music and some amazing sprite animation and effects to really showcase the machine's abilities to do things. And we've watched some of these. Have we watched Concerto? I don't think so. So I think we will start off loading up the demo for Concerto. And this is by the Demo Scene Group Performers. Yeah, there we go. So we'll pull that up real quick, and we'll get this party started right. And I will also post this to the social media, which is something I should have done many minutes ago. Dr. Tolbert, what is up, my friend? How's it going? How's it going? Let's bring it up. You know what? I think I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn off the scan lines, and we're going to do that very shortly when we get ready to do this firmware, because I'm going to reset everything in the Commodore 64 Ultimate to the default settings before I load up the firmware. And we're going to take a peek at some of the settings that we think may be changed, and kind of look at before and after. Let's go here. This is where the demos are located. Get there, and we said we wanted to look at Concerto. Let's just list as Concert here, I believe. All right, and let's get this part loaded up. So everything, as they say. What is it? 5x5? How many is it by what? Is it 4x4? That doesn't sound right. Sounds like you're gonna go out on your four-wheeler, right? No, I believe it's 5x5, right? Tolbert, how's it going, my friend? Let's get it. More than one drive on bus. Turn off, please. Oh, so we got more than... So I must have turned off the second. And that's probably important, right? See if it says anything. This is a 2016. And we can certainly turn off that second one by going to configuration. No, where's it at? Tape, printer, power on, built-in, B, turn off. Let's turn that thing off. And let's see if we... just need to load it up again now that we've turned it off. That's probably the easiest thing to do. And let's try it again. Just got paid Friday night. Wow, that is way over the top. But that is a way cool effect. Hope you're awake. Hope you're awake. I'm getting a Zaxxon feel. Hey, I know that character. Quick, can you name all these characters? It's going through radio stations. Skills, what is this? These are what are called demos from the demo scene. This is just a, they used to be, they start out as demos, as in you would crack, you would crack a game for distribution on floppy disk back in the day. And the crackers would often include demos or trainers at the top. And they would use that opportunity to create some really cool effects that were outside the norm of what these 8-bit computers were meant to do. And it turned into a whole thing where people just form groups and create these amazing pieces of art showcasing the abilities of the group and the hardware. It can run Doom, Cryptic Skills. It can run Doom. Believe it or not, and that's really the bar, right? Concerto. I'd play this game. Oh, I love that. Maybe that'll be our first sprite we design in our sprite software review tonight. What do you think? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so we're going to ask us for disc 2, we hope. Graph what is up? Welcome into Friday nights. There's your credits. But we still got 2 more discs to load up, right? Yeah, this is my jam right here. This is where it gets hot. Graph Talk, how is your Friday? I had so many plans today, and I only accomplished about 50% of them. Maybe if I had twice as many 8-bit computers, I could have done it all. Peter! I like this part. Dude, we really got to get into... After we get through doing some sprite work, maybe next week we'll look at some SID music editors. Sonda, what is up, my friend? Welcome in. Friday night. Time for some demos. Sometimes they're not super clear on when to flip disc, though. I just say if you're out there, of course this is 2016. If you're out there making demos for the demo scene, you can be cool and everything, but please let me know easily. Here we go. This is it, and oh, look at that. Some legends. Some legends right there. Look, I asked, and just like that, they said, turn it over. Turn it over. So we'll do just that. I wonder if there's a shortcut for turning the disc over. I'm gonna mount the disc this time instead of doing something stupid like I did last time. I see a little bouncy snake over there. Tonda, what have you been... I don't know what he's... What about Linus? Music by. Okay, that is awesome. Oh, I love that effect. Yeah, count me in. Yeeto! Red crab. I actually understood that one. Does that say breaker? Decay! I love that one. Nuga, what's up? THCH. All right, going into ad. It looks like we're about to go into an ad over on Twitch. That was a whole disc. That was a whole disc worth of credits, and I am with it. So let's get that last disc and see if we can beat this ad before it pops up. I think it starts in like just a couple of minutes or so, but we'll see if we can. Did I just mount the disc? Discordia, did I just do that again? Did I dismount the disc? It's okay. It's okay. It looks like it knows what to do. Discordia finally made it back for the 8-Bit Computer Club. Woke up from my Friday evening nap earlier than usual. Yeah. Excellent. I may have seen this last version already. Have I seen this one? Our grand opening of 8-Bit Computer Club is still pending. I think we will make our official real deal launch on May the 1st. We'll have 10 of these under our belt by then, I believe. And we're going to have a few format changes. But it's going to be real cool, y'all. Been making lots of notes for the last 2 months. Oh, I had a great week, Discordia. Had a great week. Cannot complain. Enjoying this coffee right now. I think I've at least seen this one. I think I've seen part 3. I don't remember much about part 1 and 2 on the disc. So maybe we have seen this one. But we're going to start a list so we'll know which demos we've done and which ones we need to still go through. We'll also start hitting some newer things, and maybe going back through some history as well. More cowbell. Basically, this will be the reaction part of the YouTube videos. Yeah, Discord, how about yourself? I mean, you got a nap in. It can't be all bad, right? Can't be all bad. You got a nap in. Zoe is hard at work on yet another giant scarf. Oh, I think I really remember. I think we were farting around like one of the very first times we met for 8-Bit Computer Club. And I want to say we listened to this. And I tortured my family over the weekend. We went out of town this past weekend, and we went and picked up Zoe her prom stuff. And one of the things I did was I turned on Falco. I asked everyone, I said, do you guys remember Falco? And they were like, no. And then my significant, my life partner, she says, yeah, maybe. And I'm like, I said, rock me Amadeus? Rock me Amadeus? And she's like, Amadeus. And I'm like, oh, let me hook you up. Oh, I see Captain Kipper is putting on the Ritz, right? some Rock Me Amadeus. Another great one from him is Jenny. I used to love that one, right? Oh, and Vienna Calling. You guys remember the big? I think it wasn't the follow up to Rock Me Amadeus. Wasn't that Vienna Calling? Oh. Discordia says a lot of people don't remember his other one that was. Ah, look at you! You just said it. You just said it. Discordia was on the same page. Yeah, Commissar. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget about that one, says Tonda. That's right. Oh, I had Falco albums. They love One Foot. Jacob reviews everything. No way internet is bigger than a floppy disk. Come on. Right? Insane. That's all you need. Fit the whole darn thing on a floppy disk. It's a very big floppy disk, but it was just one. Yeah, putting on the Ritz was Taco, wasn't it? Was it Taco? I thought didn't he have a cover, or didn't he include the... I definitely remember him saying putting on the Ritz, but I don't think it was putting on the Ritz song. I think it's not the putting on the Ritz song we think of, right? I think it was, it was Taco. But didn't Falco also have a line putting on the Ritz, or was it just because I'm thinking of something else? The Commissar was great, says Discordia. Not enough people remember Falco, right? Yeah, I remember him saying some stuff. I remember him being really fancily dressed up in one video and talking about putting on the Ritz and stuff. It's part of the video. Yeah, he died in 1998. How did he die, Captain? I've completely forgotten now. Rock Me Amadeus. We are currently in an ad break. Be back in just a second. When we do, we'll pop open this TI-99 4A and take a look inside. It was actually a little easier to take apart than I thought it would be. It wasn't bad at all, and I had heard several people, and I'm assuming the details and information I was getting about the disassembly was probably earlier models. That's right, car accident. Falco died in a car accident. He hit a bus in his car, going out like a true rock star, right? Discordia says, I wonder if Bombats knows interesting facts about Falco. We'll have to remember to ask him. Oh, I'm sure Bombats absolutely knows. Bitter balling is good for you. I guarantee he knows all about the Falco and will tell us all the things. And maybe our first official opening of the 8-Bit Computer Club on May the 1st. I really got to look to see how fast I can get some ARM SIDs. Is it ARM 2 SID, I believe, Captain Kipper? Jacob Reviews says, I have 3 TI-99 4As and a lot of carts. One of the computers works properly. And so, actually, Jacob, I'm gonna pick your brain here very shortly. I'd be curious to hear some of your experiences. This is the only... I thought I had another TI-99 out in the garage, and I could not locate it. So either I did something with it, but I could not locate it over the week. So I guess I only have one, and it's the beige one, which was the later cost-cutting models, right? Welcome back from that ad. Thank you guys for hanging out. We are back with the 8-Bit Computer Club and wrapping up this demo. I love reading all these little deets at the end of this one. It's pretty good. Let's look into a little bit about the creators here. This concert was released on October 30th, 2016. Performers was founded in September 2016. Wow, boy, September, October. Wow, look at this. What? How can you do that? What do you, how do you, that's like such a, what? Wait, it was released on October the 1st, end of October. So they pretty much had all of October, right? Arm to Sid. That's it. It's one of the better ones. Or Arm Sid. Excuse me. Why am I thinking Arm to Sid? Anyway, wow, Performance was founded in September of 2021. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was September the 1st, right? So that means, yeah, this means they had 2 months to go from that to the end there. Interesting. So you'll see here, this was distributed with the Commodore 64 Ultimate with permission from Mahoney Performers, the group. But let me take a look here. Let's pop over to the scene, right? So we're gonna head over to the scene, the CS demo scene database, right? Commodore scene demo. What do you think the CSDB stands for? I'm not sure. You know, I gotta look that up. I've kind of committed the URL to memory, but I don't know if I've ever looked up what the initials stand for. It is 8937 for this particular group. This is what we do when we get together for the 8-Bit Computer Club. One of the things we do is we like to check out a couple of demos and see what some of the coolest crap ever is for 8-bit computers. And we like to give props to those people who are making these. September the 21st. Wow, so it was much shorter than I actually thought here. Let me bring up the csdb.dk group information. They were founded, wow, like really fast. User ratings pretty good. Look at that. And you can see here all the members, and it'll show you what dates they were here. Don't be a snowflake. But one of the really cool things here is usually these demos are written for get-togethers, right? Like big conventions and things. And so they will show off what they got going on. This concert, even though we've seen it said Concerto, was a 2016 demo, and it was as many of these have been so far. It was premiered. It took 4th place at the C64 demos at X 2016, and this still is going on. The X exhibition, right? And here is there. I believe this is there. I guess this is the straight 2. Okay. But you can get to the greater website as well if you just look for that. So let's look at some of these party photos that were going on around there. Let's take a look. Let's take a peek behind the curtain of what one of these 2016 might have looked like. Oh, 2024. Okay, so did they have okay, did I look over top of it? I did. I'm a goober. Looks like they missed a couple of years, but looks like they got some bites, right? Okay, Thundax. Let's take a look at this here. Oh, man, yeah. Look at this party. Dudes and dudettes. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're rocking out. Just having a little love for 8-bit computers, right? Loving it. Loving it. All right, so that's those guys. Wow, what a really short time to turn all that around. But we'll have to see. We'll have to start picking our favorite groups, and they have released something as recently as 2025, but this looks more like an online thing. Vintage Computing Christmas Challenge 2025. Last time they went to X, it looks like it was in 2023, and that's this demo here. Sometimes you'll get, oh, look at that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looking pretty good. Look, got some feedback. Stunning. Great. I wish I was there to see it live. Yeah. Yeah, they have competition for demos, Captain Kipper, right? Oh, we have the silver model, says Captain Kipper. All right, let's pop back. I missed a couple of messages. Jacob says, yeah, I believe there was a beige and silver 99.4A. Not sure about other varieties. I have beige, that's perfect. All right, let's take a look at my beige one right here. Let's take a, looks like my camera has sagged just a little bit and fell down. Once again, I'm not sponsored by Fantic or anything yet. Hey, Fantic, gimme free stuff. I'm always buying your stupid crap and giving you free promotion. I'm just kidding. Anyway, look at here. If we could make this thing work, the first thing we're gonna do when we make this thing work is we're gonna try some of these we're going to try this reference card for basic. Look at that. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. Oh, just a little booklet. I can just carry this around with me. Stick it behind my pocket protector. Discordia. Free love, baby. All right. So I'm going to pop up onto the top this overhead camera, and let's see if we can take a look from that angle. It's upside down. No, it's right. All right. Like I said, before the stream, I went ahead and opened this up. This is kind of a test as well to how well this is going to work out for me. Because I'm still working on camera angles, and so we're going to see how this works out. Let's see. That is, I got my right light is turned off right now. I'm going to turn that back on to give myself some more light over there. And this was a fairly easy disassembly for what we're doing here. If you can see down here, you may be able to see, it looks like there's a green board here. There's some brown board here. So this may give you an idea if you're looking at one of these beige, later cost-cutting ones that you may have gotten. There's no hidden screws or anything. Everything was right in plain view, which I appreciated. And then this pulled right off. It was pretty easy once I got the screws out. This was a little sticky. I'm assuming this little pad was kind of helping keep this power right here in place so it was not jostled. There was a couple of screws. In the back side here is where you plug in your power adapter. It comes in, and this is some more power components right on the inside. I had noticed when I had touched the top side the other day, it was kind of warm. I did the smell test on this, and that just means I got in there and I was like, let's just smell if anything, let me smell anything that's been cooked, right? I do have an electronic microscope, and I may break this board down and look at it, because two of the things that are the most likely causes for your keyboard of this particular models not working is going to be either power related, could be this, could be the block that comes in, or it could be the membrane keyboard. There's just a couple of screws here, and this just popped right out. I pulled it up gently because, you know, ribbon cables, even though this is a pretty hefty ribbon cable, and is tucked in underneath here to this board back here, and I just easily just, you know, gently pulled it out. And then you got your keyboard. And there you go. So that's the top part. So when you see this, you might think, oh, this looks like a mechanical, you know, or mechanical keyboards like we're used to, right? But there's a couple of, now lots of times when you think of membrane keyboards, you may be thinking about the membrane keyboards that were just bubbles, and then you would push the little bubbles like you have on what was it, I'm trying to think of one of the ones that might have been like that. What's the one that I have on hand? Do I have anything back here I can show you? Anyway, it's little bubbles essentially, and you push them and it makes the contact, right? Spectrum's a good one. Yeah, that's the little rubber things. But there's also, I forget, oh, I know which one. If you look at the Atari 400, which I have the mini model of that, it has those little keyboards that you usually think of when you think of, you definitely know there's a membrane. I mean, those got little domes, and you push the buttons, and you know those are membrane keyboards. They're just like they're obvious. These you could kind of fake out. It's like, oh, is there a membrane right there? Because the Atari 800 also has a membrane, but it has these types of keys, right? Okay, so let's pop back over here so I can, oh, and I just turned the lights off. Turn the lights off. And now I've got to decide. Oh, I forgot to turn that off too. Yeah, there you go. I'm just going to throw that up there. Just going to throw it up. Turn that off. And then we're going to turn this off. And these are notes for Brian for later. You need like a little button for all of that, so you can change it over. Also, I cut my finger on the sharp metal pieces. If you've ever worked on computers, this is a common injury. It's like, ow! I've got so many tiny cuts. Death by 1,000 8-bit cuts. Right? It's a badge of honor, man. I can't think, man, especially like during the early 2000s when I was, building my own PCs, early 2000s, mid 2000s, all those aluminum cases, man. Yeah, you got the blood sacrifice has been made, man. It's going to go good then. It's going to go good. It's going to be great. Bommy is here. What's up? We was just talking about Falco and talking about you. Camkeeper says this is a lot like a C64 keyboard, same manufacturer. Yeah, this is a Mitsumi. It's a Mitsumi keyboard. So I think some of the earlier black and silver ones, I don't think they used. They used mechanical keyboards and didn't use the membrane keyboards, I believe. As you can tell, to really get to this, though, there's a bunch of tiny little screws. And I'm going to need to disassemble that. And maybe we'll watch another demo while I disassemble that. And then we'll see if we can pull this membrane key, off of it. It's just a couple of sheets of plastic, right? And it's folded in such a way that when you push one of these keys, it compresses it and it makes a contact, and voila, you just made a key press. Bommy says disassemble and see if you can get it back together. It's gonna be the best ever. It's gonna be the best time. All right, let's how do I get back? Oh, there we go. Let's take a look at our next demo from the demo scene. You know what? I'm going to go back over to... It's nice and all to see this on the system, but it really is just the easiest just to head over to the press play. So commodore.net/press play, and then head over to the demos tab. And if you guys go over there and you see a demo that appeals to you and we haven't already watched it, we need to get a list of demos we've seen. We've definitely seen Leet, right? We've seen the 20-year Onslaught, I believe, right? 20 years of Onslaught. AI Love You, definitely. The Bad Apple was the very first demo we saw. I believe Tonda Gassa encouraged us to do that one. By the way, Tonda Gassa is here. I haven't had a chance to give a shout out to my good friend Tonda Gassa, but Tonda, good friend, great streamer, recently made partner on Twitch and is killing it. And I am glad to see that Tonda is back on the weekdays after an intentional push on the weekends of long streams that were amazing. Right, there you go. Did I type it in right? Doesn't feel like I typed it in right. Whatever. But yeah, you do go follow my my good friend Tonda Goss, and I can't wait to see Tonda later this year when we go to Utah. We definitely seen Coma Light. I love that. That makes me laugh. Coma Land, that was great. We just watched Concerto. Did we look at Cosmel? That's a classic. So you'll notice these are labeled as either classics of the original releases from 1990 or more recent releases like from 2016 when the demo scene really started hitting more modern times, right? Cubic Dreams, did we look at that one? Dawnfall. Did we see? Oh, I think we did see Desert Dream. E2 Era. Did we see that one? Edge of Disgrace. That doesn't look terribly familiar. Incoherent Nightmare. I think we watched that one. You guys remember this little cartoon guy from The Great Space Coaster? I think he did other things too, but I think he had his own thing. But I mostly remember from The Great Space Coaster, right? Oh, look at this. Oh, this is bringing back some memories. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna watch this one. Yeah. Okay, Discord. Let's do it. Kraftwerk says, "Oh, should we watch Kraftwerk instead? Is that the one you need? Do we need to do Kraftwerk? Is that what we need to do? The Kraftwerk. Shorts are great. Yeah. La Linea. Is that how you say it? La Linea. La Linea. All right. Well, I'm going for this one. All right. Let's go. La Linea. Am I saying that right? Not even close. It's okay. You can correct me down below or in the chat. This is 85% of this. Oh, this looks like a short one here. Let's take a look at the info here. January 1995. They did this in 2002. And it was released at the end of March. Okay. And we'll get into their information here very shortly, but let's go ahead and run this disk. And I'm going to take apart this membrane keyboard while we check this stuff out. Oh, yeah. How do I say it? Somebody phonetically spell that for me because I feel like I'm butchering it. Tiny screws, I'm gonna lose you. Tiny screw. That's what it does, right? Linea. Am I saying it right? Linea. Linea? Says Tonda. That's what he did in the show, right? Great Space Coaster. Yeah. The middle of what Tonda and me said. Linea. 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 Oh no, it broke down. Thumbing it. Oh, he got the tongue. Cap says this is a cartoon I would see on Radio Canada. Yeah. Were they like shorts in between other shows? Like I said, I only remember it because of the Great Space Coaster. Like this and Gary Gnu are my two favorite things. I know, we definitely need to watch some Great Space Coaster. I just wish I could find some quality versions of it. Is there a DVD out there of that? I thought it was pretty cute, Discordia. Because the last time I looked for Great Space Coaster, I found some streams on YouTube, or not streams, but I found some videos on YouTube, and they were pretty low quality. I mean, they were, just recorded off TV or whatever. The end. Can be the end already. Yeah, probably VHS copies. One of my favorites. I've just about got all... I'm counting close to 16 screws here, I think. Is that right? About 16 screws, 16 tiny little screws. I got Old Faithful here. Look at the little pin. Speaking of which, oh my God. For the second time in a month, I have stepped on a thumbtack at my house. Like the kind a push pin thumbtack, like the kind you would put, hang a poster with or something. Don't do that to your posters. You're tearing your posters up, man. You're ripping your posters apart by doing that. Don't do that. But you did it. And I stepped on one. Like last month, I think. And guy went all the way in. I mean, it went all the way to the base of that thing. And I had to pull it out. And oh my God, it was so terrifying pulling it out. It was so much worse going out than it was going in. Going in, just like, what is that? That kind of hurt. Pull it out, I had to pull it, and it was tugging. Oh, it was the worst. And Jacob says, I work on semi-trucks and confirm we do exactly this with our posters. Tanya says, come out to the coast, they said. That's why they were slippers, man. All right, so I believe I've managed to pull. I've done no research beforehand. I've done zero research beforehand on this, on how to disassemble this keyboard. A foolish thing to do. I've just gone on my many years of, taking stuff apart. And, terrible way to do this. But these things are so abundant that I don't worry too much about it, right? I don't worry too much. All right, so I've got it disassembled, right? Here's the couple of little bars that were attached in the back. All the screws, they were all the same length in diameter. So I didn't even separate the piles or anything like that. As you can tell, I didn't even use the fan tick because there are small screws, and I just used old trusty here, right? And so I still got to turn that one light back on. Somebody make a note. Somebody add that to the notes for the club. For the club. I need more light right here. All right. And I think, let's just see. We want to, of course, be kind of careful around this ribbon cable. And this might be the only thing that makes me want to go look, is because this ribbon cable and how it's in here. Oh, it's got some bits soldered over too. I may not be able to just do this on stream. I may have to do, my God, I may have to do research. Are they sure this is a membrane keyboard? I don't think so. They said it was, but I'm not thinking it. This just looks like a board. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, there's a... Yes, there's the... Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, okay. Captain Kipper confirms that the white part is membrane. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure at first. It looked like it was printed on there at first, but when I caught the light a couple of times, I could tell that it was, it was plasticky right there. And that should peel right up. I might have to... I'm probably going to have to desolder here. I'm going to have to really inspect the other side of the ribbon cable. I think that's the only thing that's holding it down are these two right here. Yeah. Okay. The Ray says, read the effing manual, never. He said all the bits are falling out. I have a similar screwdriver, but it's like a Torque 6. I got a couple of those too, Captain Kipper. So we may have to wait until next week for the final of that, because I don't have my soldering gun turned on. But we're getting closer, right? That's fine. We're not in no big hurry. There you go. All right. Now the question is, what am I going to do with these tiny little screws so I don't lose them? Where's my little Ziploc baggies? Where's my little baggies that I usually keep some little baggies around here? Bombad says, Ziploc baggies for your drugs. I use pill bottles or zip bags. Yeah, I usually do too, but I don't have either of those around for some reason. I didn't put those either way. Didn't put either one. By the way, one of the things I do like about this Fantic screwdriver that I have is rechargeable and has little case right here. These screws are so small, though. I'm a little hesitant to put them in there. But I'm doing it anyway. I'm taking a chance. Oh, I'm going to totally lose those. That's okay. I have enough that I can... I have enough of those that I can order some more if I need to, or steal them from someplace, right? All right. Thank you, Old Faithful. Look, there you go. All right. Woo! All right, let's move on. Probably forget where you put the screws. Where'd I put those stupid screws? It makes no sense. Bombaz says taping screws to the bottom is a good idea usually. Yeah, I do that. I do that a good bit as well. Yeah, just take some, add some clear tape. Just tape them right to the bottom of it. That's usually one of the better ideas, keeping the two things together. I wasn't planning on doing partial, research and repairs while we stream, and so I don't have any of my usual workbench things over here. I need to fix that. All right, making notes. By the time we get to the grand opening of the 8-Bit Computer Club, we are going to be 100. All right. Next up, I think we should go ahead and look at, since the Commodore 64 Ultimate is working, right? Okay, so we didn't fix or finish, but we did get a little further in our TI-99 repair. And since we haven't fixed that yet, let's go ahead and break the Commodore 64 Ultimate by upgrading the firmware haphazardly. What do you say? I think it's a great idea. Before Tank Girl, what's up? Welcome in. It's good to see you, Before Tank Girl. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you are in the world. I know where you're at. We've been doing some demos. We made a little more progress in our TI-99. I think it's going to be okay. This is how I see the repair probably going. I'm going to, just hit the solder on those couple little those little components there. Pull it open, get the membrane out, and then I'm probably going to put it under the electronic microscope. And I'm going to look for breaks, because I'm assuming, I don't know what they made it out of, but I'm assuming over time, and this is just a theory. I don't know. I've done practically no research on this yet. And I'm assuming the membrane is made. I'm assuming there's probably a bunch of broken, it's just old and crappy. I wouldn't think, you see how sealed up everything is in that thing? I wouldn't think necessarily moisture, especially just because I've visually inspected it. I've had this, it's been near my nose, and it doesn't smell like it's been in a situation where it's had a bunch of moisture. I haven't seen any signs of any moisture in the system or anything like that. So I'm assuming it's just because it's probably gotten really hot. It's probably out in some garage somewhere at some point in time. It just got old and brittle and hard. But we're gonna get us a trace pin, and we're gonna see if that is one possible solution. If there's not a lot of breaks, we may be able to, spider nest free. We may be able to make those connections, and get a little use out of it before we do something more drastic. Otherwise, I may look for some, I don't know if there's membrane replacements, or if we're gonna do a full keyboard replacement. If we do that, we'll probably go with something different than a membrane keyboard. I think I've seen some things that are different, but we'll keep cataloging everything we're doing on that. And I'll probably do a video in the end, from our progress from start to end. I'll have to make some B-roll. I'll do some B-roll tomorrow that we'll post to YouTube eventually. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of things. I'm going to restart the Commodore 64 Ultimate real quick here. I'm holding down the rocker switch on the side of the unit. If you hold it straight down, it's supposed... Oh, I wasn't actually... It's very stiff. There we go. I got a good grip on that time. Yeah, no, I can't believe we didn't have a single spider nest in this one. I think it was kept in the box, but I think it was, the box is not in great shape, but the machine itself is in pretty good shape. So I'm assuming it was probably put up in the box many years ago for storage. Let's see here. All right, so as you can tell, if you look at the top, this is the Ultimate, and you can tell I've loaded up Jiffy DOS, right? So we know we've made some changes and some configuration things, right? And that's all fine and well. We're going to go to, let's see, can we reset to defaults? Clear, let's see, do we need to clear it first? And then, maybe we should have done that post. Let's restore the defaults. No more spider nest? It's got shrimp. I'm so sick. Yeah, the Bommy, right? The box is full of spider nest. It's terrifying. All right, let's, well, it didn't come back on, so that's interesting. I'm also going to start unplugging my peripherals, which I have that, we saw that mouse earlier. I have a wireless adapter for the CX40, right? The Atari one. So I'm going to unplug all that. Okay, so we already got a stretched aspect ratio, so that tells me that it probably at least resets some things. And reset from flash, reset to defaults. Let's just go to defaults here. This should be how it's shipped. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think it's just a little bit wider. Sometimes we have this with our capture card. Elgato sometimes does not. My Elgato capture card sometimes. There we go. If it cycles up at a different size when it boots up, it may be different. We also can confirm that the original Starlight Edition mode, how it works when you first turn it on, is this cycling through the LED colors, right? Scory says, back with my snacks. It's not a Dunaway stream if I ain't munching. That's right. We love our snacks around here, don't we? What kind of snacks are we talking? Wi-Fi, does it have a browser? Yes, Bommy. Yes, actually it does. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. So we're gonna talk about the Play Retro QuickSack Li, because we're gonna talk about more of that this week though. But yes, if you have not went to playretro.quicksack.li, and we're gonna show that after we get through this part. Bommy, don't let me forget. Don't let me forget, because I am super proud of what you've done. Ate some pizza, dinner and Dunaway. Yeah. All right. So by default, this is your typical layout, right? That's the combo serve. I have no valid network link. That's because I've reset everything to default. We can confirm that, as you can see here. Jiffy DOS is no longer loaded up by default. It still has it has though still seen that it's available. But it is back to all the regular defaults of disabled RAM expansion. So the REU is disabled by default, and back to our original ROMs and things. Turbo boost, all that stuff is off. By the way, did you guys know this? I can crank this thing up to 64 megahertz. Why would you do that? What would even happen? I don't know. All right. Save changes, no. Video setup is by default when it comes. It's a PAL. If you ever have trouble running in the demo scene things or any games, especially the demo stuff is typically designed for PAL. And if for whatever reason they do not start, it's probably because of that. Because you're probably like me when you got your Commodore 64. You're like, well, I want to make it like my NTSC that I had, and so on and so forth. Also does scan lines by default. This all looks like the original stuff that I had, so that all works out just fine. All right. Boop. All right. So I guess the real question is, okay, so let's take a look at the system information. Date is Saturday, January 11th, 2025 is what it says. And that's not right. But that's okay. Right? NTSC, never the same color. I love it. Yeah, NTSC's, Bommy says, like a plebe. Like a plebe. This is Farkin War. What is up? Yo, what up, people? Where that Mingo phone at? Anybody seen the Mingo phone? Flash Gordon. What's up? This is Farkin War. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we're on 3.1.4, right? Version 3.1.4, and now they have released version 1. The build date for this one was 2025 11/10, and we want to go get the latest, so we're going to head over to Commodore.net, and let me see, that's that there, and I'll bring that up. And let's see, where are they going to put the firmware? I bet you it's going to be under downloads and the Commodore 64 Ultimate. March the 16th, 2026. Firmware for the Commodore 64 Ultimate Beige, Starlight, and Founders Edition. So we're going to click on this link here. And it's going to give me a download link, and I'm going to download that. And we're also going to take a look at the changelog. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm trying to click in OBS. That ain't going to work. Oh, there's a changelog. It's super tiny bitty. Good. Perfect. Let's just see if anything like strikes me as like, oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. Updated firmware. Okay, so Commodore, first things first. Commodore has updated their revisioning, right? All right, there we go. Their revisioning numbers. So now we're at 1.1, build 165. And it came out March 16th. Just a short time ago. What is it? So about a month ago now. The earlier versions 3.1.4 will be retroactively referenced as initial 1.4. Okay, so they've basically, launched from 3.1.4 by now calling it 1.0, and they got new build numbers. Okay. Okay, firmware has been significantly enhanced and modified. What does that mean? All right, incompatible firmware added. Navigation left arrow will now navigate back a menu. Okay, USB mouse support. This was the big one for me. Should support most mice. Some proprietary USB mice may not work. That's fine. The LED controller for the keyboard and case now has music detect mode. This was something I was pretty excited about, and I thought they were supposed to be doing this, which will automatically detect sounds and start jamming to your favorite SIDs and game sound effects, even when not in SID music mode. This allows you to keep the LEDs on during general usage, but have them become sound reactive only when applicable. Cool. Improve light colors and patterns. Oh, look at me. I'm a Starlight Edition. Okay. Web interface, added drag and drop support for web SID. Okay, improve some basic tools. Improve the basic editor. Interesting. Okay. Web interface, disable line wrapping. And CommoServe file search now searches Commodore's file server instead of the Assembly 64 server. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so yeah, so that was one of the things. Only software the developer has granted permission for is served to the end user. So they tightened up some of that. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So basically the CommoServe file search, basically that's just you can download. I can actually run it like in a cloud. I want to say, can you download it as well? I'm not sure. Anyway, you can run files and stuff. We think we ran the BBS software from there, I believe, the other week, didn't we? Network status, some fixed stuff here, deprecated. So not a lot of big changes, but a few important changes. So we've downloaded it. Hey man. Where's the deets on how to install the thing, man? You're not even going to include doesn't say anything about what to do. Guess you got to refer to your manual. Okay, here's the documentation, user's guide. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm sure we can wing it. I'm sure we just got to drop that file somewhere, right? Okay, I'm going to take a look at that file. I think it came in as a zip. The Wraith, what's up, the Wraith? Let's see here. Curious how many demos work okay if overclocked at a 64 instead of 1. We should at least try it one time, right? At least once. We should give that a try. I think that's a great idea. All right, this Commodore 64U comes in as a UE2 file. It also includes the notes we just saw. Okay, still no instructions on how to actually install it, but that's fine. Okay, so what I am gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and set up the Wi-Fi real quick because I'll need that to transfer. Or should I just put it on the USB drive? And what happens when I do? You know what? I'm going to put it on the USB drive. I'm just going to put it on this USB drive. Here's my SAM disk. And there's a great story behind that. We've talked about it in previous episodes. This is not a SAN disk. It is a SAM data. There were some choice words I said when I received it and realized that it was my fault. Oh, yeah, you should try Jupiter Fracture, by the way, says Tana. We really should, right? We really should. Oh, hi, Sam. Whenever you can. Absolutely. Maybe we can get to it tonight. We'll have to see how far we make it. All right. I've inserted the USB. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to throw it onto our SAM data. There is no folder or anything called like firmware or anything. Boy, man, I am usually a reader before I do anything, but something about just hanging out in a group, just going, let's just give it a try. I am not like this. Any other time, I'm like, I'll take out a sheet of paper and I'm like, okay, we need to check this first. Something about you people makes me just say, what's the worst? I know what it is. Anything that happens now, it serves the show, right? It serves it because it's like, oh, if something bad happens, then that's entertaining, right? Adamadium, what's up? What do you mean by you people? So it's content, right? So even if I goof it up, still content, right? But in real life, in my really real world of of getting crap done and being productive, doing something stupid is not content. it's just annoying. Yeah, let's just throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Maybe that should be our. Oh, look at this already. I'm like, was this already like this? Is it slow? Is it just slowly cycling through that so slow? I don't think I've ever let it cycle through. I usually always pick a color, and this thing is really cycling through slow. So that's fine. All right, I think I'll just keep this back over and just keep that on there. Everybody like my 3 layers of computers and keyboards and just okay. The good news is I don't have to worry about a KVM switch, right? Does anybody have like a crazy KVM setup? If you know so KVM, it's basically having a whole bunch of keyboards and input devices managed through one switch, right? In this case, we just have a bunch of keyboards. All these old 8-bit computers were their own keyboards, right? So, all right, so we've got that set in. Bommy says, I only use DeskFlow between my main PC and my couch PC. Also, I love the fact that you have a couch PC. A ziggurat of a keyboard, says Adamadium. Oh, you don't love the light up stuff before Tank Girl? A cluster F of keyboards. I love it. All right, let's see if it'll recognize the file type. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. I'm assuming it's going to recognize the file type, or we need to go back to the firmware and to the system settings and see if it shows us something. I copied the file. No, there it is. C64 version, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. So it is file associated. Boy, this is really by the seat of my pants. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see if we get any warnings or anything. All right, here we go. Oh, here we go. So we got Commodore 64 Ultimate Updater, Saturday, January 11th. Detected the flash, WinBond, detected FPGA type. Very good. Checking the reformat flash disk. In this case, it's fine. Maybe next week, I think we'll probably add an internal SD card to the Commodore 64 Ultimate. So let's write those things down. We're going to get a good look at the membrane on the keyboard for the TI-99. We're going to install a flash card and stuff, or a SD card inside, right? That's the flash disk. That's not the same. But we're going to do that and make use of it. So it's kind of, let's figure out what we need to do next week. Let's reformat it. About to update. Let's do it. And I'm hoping in a couple of weeks we can get the ARM SID. I'm trying to look to see what the possibility is of getting one in quickly. GraphTark says I have an inexpensive Ugreen thing. I love my Ugreen stuff. Ugreen makes some really useful thingamabobs. I really like Ugreen. Let me push a button to switch up the KBM and a microphone with 2 computers. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I love the Ugreen stuff. They have like all kinds of just crazy, and everything I ever got from Ugreen has always been really well packaged and functional. Can't complain. Discordia says I like Ugreen stuff too. I have quite a few things. Yeah, I'm always hesitant about saying I like this thing because someone will come back and go, "Oh, didn't you hear, Brian? Ugreen stole all of their products from these hardworking open source people, and you're the worst." So I'm always hesitant. I'm like, I like these people's products because the packaging and the quality of the items, they're the worst. But the Ray says somewhere I've got an old KVM, which was just an analog mechanical rotary switch, many wires. Yeah. Square says I've thought about getting a KVM switch for all my crap, but haven't managed to do it yet. Yeah, dying right. How dare you like stuff, says Before Tank Girl. All right, it says are flashing the ESP32. I wonder if it saw it coming. I don't know if it did or not, but it was successful. Wi-Fi module detected. So very good. Yeah. I always think I want a KVM switch, and then wherever I have things set up as a KVM, I just discover that I hate it. Like, I use KVM switches for things I rarely use. Like, I've got some server setups that it makes sense to only have a keyboard in one place. But if I'm using a KVM a lot, I'm like, there's got to be a better solution. And it's usually a wraparound desk setup where I just go, okay, screen here, and keyboard here, screen here, keyboard here, screen here, and just, reiterate. The only time I really appreciate a KVM is like, okay, I don't have to do this very often, but when I do, I can just come in here and I have a keyboard, mouse, and monitor just right here, and it's good to go. I like mouse out borders, like the virtual type of screen expansion kind of thing. That's kind of cool too, but that usually ends up causing input problems with certain applications. And so I just find my life is always better when I have things that are single use, single purpose types of things. Discordia says I've got 3 keyboards on my desk though. I do too. It's necessary sometimes, but it's like programming. If you do something more than 3 times, you're kind of like, it's better. That's probably another solution. I need to write something as a solution. The real Phosphor, what's up? Alt F4, baby. Just close all of it. Newcomb says appliance computers are often the most reliable and stable systems. Yeah, and that's basically that's where I've gotten to. I'm like, we've just gotten so used to having, the computer in our pocket, aka phones, that that basically do everything, but all they really do is it's still communication. Most of what I do on my phone is quick lookups for things, maybe YouTube video or something if I'm trying to understand something. But most of it is like, here, I'm going to post something to social media, or I'm going to check out the social media, or it's for communication still. Now, I don't use it much for voice calls, but it's still mostly communication. It's convenient when it does other things like my calculator or flashlight. But runtime FPGA Ultimate reset configuration is recommended. We're going to do that. Pretty painless so far. Turning off machine in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blippity blip. Does anybody else watch Twitch on the commute home? Newcomb, I do pull up. If someone is on that I like to watch, I do listen to them. Now I drive. I don't know. I have to drive, so I don't usually watch, but I do listen. which is I think you might be shocked at how many people turn on Twitch streams, live people, right? So lots of times, if you'll get in the mood for music, list a bunch of music, and then sometimes you want to learn something. And it's like, okay, I've learned something, and then sometimes you want to just be where someone is, just talking, and it feels conversational, and just, and that's what I like. I like to just, I'll turn on Twitch, and I may just walk away. And that's when you see people go into lurk mode, right? It's like I'm lurking, I'm doing other things, but I'm just hanging, right? I'm hanging out, listening to you guys talk. Newman says, same voice detection is a lifesaver. I'm driving right now. Right? Yep. Man, I remember how mad I used to get at Siri because she was so terrible. It's so much voice stuff, but it's gotten so much better in the last couple of years. Because I really couldn't wait for that part. I have a 15-minute commute. It's not huge, but I take it twice a day, right? Once to work, once back home. And sometimes it can turn into 20 minutes in traffic. And man, the fact that I can voice communicate so much with my phone, so much more now, and it's so respondent, and it does mostly what I'm looking for, is just the best. And I'll be honest with you, I use I did stop using Siri for looking stuff up. She's the worst, or she was, at looking stuff up. And so I have the ChatGPT app. I don't necessarily use ChatGPT very much, other than to format notes and to ask stupid questions as I drive down the road. And I always ask the question like this. Give me some information on this video game and check on the internet. Because if you don't tell ChatGPT to check on the internet, it will use whatever it already knows about something, and it may not be a great depth of something, and it may get things wrong. So I always say, please verify this on the internet. And then if it says something stupid, I'll be like, I'm not believing you. Please verify this on the internet and check Reddit, check different locations, right? I don't believe anything ChatGPT tells me. I don't believe nothing. I'm like, you a liar, liar. I turn on Twitch for all the dead people, says Houdini7. Knife Owl. What's up, Knife Owl? My commute is reaching for the laptop from bed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Time to go to work. Vortech Girl says TMS is my usual drive time podcasting. Right. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we're back up. Let's see if visually, if there's any difference that we can just notice right away from this. Also, let's confirm that it actually took Saturday, April the 18th, 2026. The time is wrong, but that's okay. Let me see. Let's see, what time is it here? It's actually 8:06 p.m. here on Friday, 4/17/2026. But it does look like we've had a successful update. And so the first thing I really got to ask, though, let me ask you a question. I got to see if this USB mouse support works. And the only way I really know to do that would be to get into the GEOS, which we played with last week, right? So let's take a look at a couple of other things. Wi-Fi network, that looks fine. It's enabled. All looks up and whatnots, right? All right. I think I made us. All right, memory and ROMs, all that looks normal. All that's back, right? Let's run one of the demos we ran earlier, just real quick, just so we know the stuff that worked before was working now. And what was the last thing we did? What's the last thing we did? Beep beep beep. Oh, we did this. So we're just going to mount it and run it. See if we get the same joy as we did before. The colors look a little darker. Is that my imagination? It's probably my imagination. I just wanted to see anything different. Oh, Nukem says my Wi-Fi did not work before the update. It now you should. Okay, I can check. Okay. Yeah, my Wi-Fi did work before the update. So I'm assuming it should work now, but I'll look at the commo serve and see if that works now that they're not going to assembly 64 but doing their own thing. Discordia says, and sometimes movies and shows on my phone. Yeah, I do that too. Podcast, audiobooks. Discordia says, I am still remote till summer at some point. Then I will resume my 1.5-2 hour commute. Whew, bus and metro. Man, you go through phases of music, podcast, and audiobooks. Yeah, I do too. I walk about an hour a day. Oh, look at this though. Look at this. This is new. And they said it would happen. So here's our demo from before. But yo, check this out, my friends. Look at this. Yeah. Light show. Warning, flashing lights. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Now that is fun. That may be my favorite thing they did. Tank Curl Kid says, can I retrofit my old Commodore 64 to do this? I think we should write it off as a business expense, and I think before Tank Girl should. I have a vision. I was actually asking about you earlier this week before Tank Girl, because part of that vision might involve something from you. Grass some LEDs around it. That's right, before Tank Girl. Moi? Yeah, so I'm hoping to start the club officially in its final form on May the 1st after our 10 episode test, essentially. Something I do often with any new content I do. Check something out for about 10 episodes, see how it looks, and see if it looks like something I want to continue. A little pilot, if you will. And so far, I've really enjoyed doing this with you guys, and I've been very pleased with the response, and I've had a lot. I feel like we have a lot of people who show up, and I feel like we're getting some traction on YouTube with it. And so I've got some ideas on how I would like to present it, and some of it has to do with how I'm going to do things live versus how I'm going to edit it up and chop it up in post. So one of the things that I was wanting to do, though, is I thought about doing a bunch of graphics and things, and I probably can do some graphics. I am a visual artist. That's why one of the things I went to school with Forth. But I'm also an old school, practical kind of guy, and I like this setup shot that I have, and I'm gonna rotate in and out 8-bit computers in this area. But one of the things that I want is a physical 8-bit computer club piece of relief art or something with like a light chain that can turn on when we start the show and turn off when we leave. So like when the show is gonna start, the opening shots will be like here with whatever this light relief thing is, because you sent me how you sent me the Play Retro little thing. I really like that. Maybe something more durable. We have to talk about it. And if you might not even be interested in doing it. But anyway, I'd like to see like a little chain, like click, and just turn on like some kind of backlit something to let people know the show start, and then the end when we're showing the credits and the patron support and stuff. Click it off. Things like that. Message me on Discord. We can come up with a design with dimensions. Perfect. All right, so that's what I was thinking. We'll talk more about that later. All right, so it looks good. Looks good so far. Let's pop out of this one. All the original shortcut functions. Like I was a little concerned. I wasn't sure if there's something that's kind of documented, but it's not talked about a lot. They usually refer to the switch on the side. So if you want to bring up the menu for the Commodore 64, that little menu we've been navigating through, typically they say to hold up the little power switch, rocker switch on the right hand side. and you hold it up for a certain amount of time, and then the menu will come up. That's how they recommend to get to it in most places. That's kind of like the official way to do it. If you hold it down, hold down the rocker switch, it'll eventually turn off. The switch is very stiff, and I don't like messing with it, and it just doesn't feel very good, and it's inconvenient. But one thing that is mentioned, but it's not well, it's not like the first place you go. To get to the menu, really, all you got to do is hold down the Commodore key and the restore. So if you hold this down and hit that, it will pop back and forth out of the running application and into the menu system, which is much more convenient to me than holding down holding up and holding down the stupid little rocker switch on the side, which is very stiff and difficult to mess with. So yeah, so there you go. So I'm glad they didn't touch that. Let's see here. Before Tango says, I make all the things. My dad is an electrician, so I learned a few basic things. Yes, good. Yeah, very good. All right, so we got that part. We looked at this last week. We looked at, let's get back in here. We looked at the GUI interfaces. Actually, you know what might be quicker and easier? There's two GUI interfaces here, graphic user interfaces for the Commodore 64 Ultimate, and one of them is the old GOS, right? It's old GOS. And then there's this GUI 64, which is mostly for just file management and moving stuff around. So let's move into this one. I'm gonna plug in the old way, which I was doing before. Let's see if it still functions. This is our old way. This is an adapter for the 9-pin, and then another adapter to adapt to the proper size of this USB mouse. And we'll plug that in. And then we'll launch this GUI, right? We're going to run as a cart, and we're going to see if the mouse still functions. Okay, so the mouse still functions, and this is the mouse I'm using over here. It's the one that came with the A500 Mini Amiga, and so it seemed to be, era appropriate for my taste, and it looks like it's working just fine. How's the refresh rate? I guess it's fine. It feels very, responsive. And now let's see if we can just plug it right in. So I'm going to pull it out here, and I'm going to plug it into the ports in the back. So the question is, it says it has USB mouse support. There are two USB ports on the back of the Commodore 64 Ultimate, and one is currently occupied by my USB, right? Which we're hopefully going to be able to replace, because I'm going to get an SD card and put it on the inside. And I'm going to now flip this over 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 8 times until it's the charm. Until I have to go look at it, I suppose. I guess I'll just son of a butthole. All right, let me take a closer look. Come on, man. I know you want to go there. There it is. It's just stiff. It's just stiff. It was actually going in. It was just stiff. All right, there we go. That's super. Yeah, the superposition of the USB port, right, Matt? Yeah, there you go. All right, let's bring it back up. I plugged it in without a restart, right? I just plugged it in while things are running into port. What I assume is port 2. It's the one closer to the HDMI. So let's exit out of there, and let's go back in, and actually let's just restart. Let's do a full power cycle. Let's just be extra real quick. The race says always a minimum of 3 times the USB. USB is easy. Only 24 directions of tries as bombats. Hello, Kitty Pez. What's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I thought you was already following me. Hello, Kitty Pez. What's up? It must have been a subscribe. I still look at it. Oh, come on. Zbarix, did you do it? Thank you for the sub. Thank you, Hello Kitty. Welcome in. Oh, hi. And I enjoyed seeing that you showed up on the Discord server. That's also always nice. Let's take a look here. Let's try it again. This time we had the USB plugged in from get-go, and we're going to try why am I using the NTSC when we're obviously using a CRT, a PAL system? So I should be consistent. Let's go back to I just did it out of habit. No, you. All right, so we fired it up there. No joy here. So the question is, does it got to be in a particular port? It also said not all mice were supported. And let's back out of this and let's try the PAL version. I don't think that'll make a difference, but I thought I'd give it a try. And also, is there any type of setting that I need to set somewhere in the configuration? Joystick and controllers. Yeah, hype train. Miller time. What's up, Miller time? Thank you for the 500 bits. Look at you. Thank you, making my Friday night fan freaking tastic. Try a different mouse. I will try that next, the Wraith. Hype train started. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Are there user interfaces here? Okay. Color blue. Where would mouse options be? If you were mouse options, where might you be? Audio, turbo boost. I would assume joysticks and controllers because most of the mice just used paddle type controls, I believe. Is that right? I think that's right. And I would have thought user interface would have been the only other place that I would think to look. So it must just work out of Happy Friday. Before Tango says, I'm making t-shirts for N26. That's Nerdtacular 26, and I'm thinking of making a son of a butthole one. Might get a few hooks. I think I would order a son of a butthole. Son of a butthole, come on, man. What is this crap even? I wouldn't think it need a ROM or nothing. Just trying to think through the process here. I would totally rock that shirt. And I also maybe need to draw a little graphic for it, or maybe you could draw one. It'd be cool too. Nuke says a shirt on the front that says pucker up, and on the back the Commodore logo would be good. Pucker up, chicken lips. All right, that actually is pretty good too. Next thing I'm gonna do is, I'm curious. This is already loaded into the system. What happens if I pull out this USB memory, right? And then I pull out the mouse and plug it into, I'm trying to see what this is listed as. Let me take a look here. It just says user ports. It doesn't say, so this is the port that is the furthest. This is the port that is furthest this way. And I'm getting a look at it this time, and that, I don't know if you can see, kind of messing with the lights, messing with my camera. Plug that in that way. All right, so let's just see. Ooh, I feel so blue. No joy there. No joy there. Now if I put this, I'm gonna put my USB stick into the other port, right? That way I'll still have access to it. And we'll just see if it is a USB port thing. And if not, we'll try a USB mouse. I have another cool USB mouse. Oh yeah, I got a cool mouse. Let's also see how angry it gets for me switching stuff up like that. Let's try the NTSC since it's the first one we tried. I'm gonna run the cart. And the mouse has moved. Is starting location. That's interesting, right? Because it was starting in a different location. Interesting. I wonder if this mouse doesn't pull fast enough, because it is just a little mouse for an Amiga A500 Mini. I have a more standard mouse. This is a Cherry mouse. Maybe we'll have to put this on the... I've been trying to keep all the links and stuff to Amazon. By the way, I have an Amazon affiliate thingy because of the Twitch stuff and all this other stuff. So when I'm linking products, I'll usually use my Amazon code thing. Yeah, it's so little. It's like pennies. But I do it because I guess you're supposed to. So anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I'm not here to sell products, right? I'm not here to do that. So, but yeah, so I will let you know the honest truth. This is okay. It's not a great mouse, but it's all right. It looks cool, right? Looks old school, right? And this little mouse wheel lights up red and crap. A little cherry mouse, whatever. Yeah, I know. I want to get me a mouse ball. I need a mouse ball. This is actually a PS2 mouse. This is a real one. This is a PS2 mouse I actually have plugged in to my PC. So it's mid retro, right? Forte Girl says, "Should I return all the silver water I bought from you?" Yes, please. Remember, you're buying from stupid Jeff Bezos, and sure he his company owns Twitch, and I don't want to make anybody angry, but whatever. I ain't got no loyalty to Amazon. Whatever. If they started acting like humans, I would care. But anyway, all right. So I'm just gonna unplug and plug this other mouse in for just doing the least to check what the least is. Like I said, I don't care if stuff goes wrong. That's content here in this case. So I did plug it in. You can tell here it's receiving power. We got a little red light, and it does appear to be working. So that Amiga A500 mouse, it's probably just it's probably got some weird timing or something. This just come bundled in with the A500 Mini, so it's probably pretty limited in what it does. Talbert says, "Did I miss the drawing pad?" You have not. We need to get the drawing pad back out. We did look at it a few weeks back, so we need to figure out what we want to focus on when we get a little further along in this project. Speaking of which, we need to get and look at some sprite editors as well. But look at there. So it does. So yeah, working mouse. Look at that. So I can confirm that a USB Cherry mouse, some model M5400 or no, yeah, 5400, yeah, it does work. This works. I'm sure probably most mice work with it, but I like the retro aesthetic of this thing, and I can still use it because I still have my old little adapter and stuff, and I'll plug into the 9-pin and all that good stuff. So I can still use it. It's fine. It's fine. But hey, neato completo. And they answered a couple of questions I had too. And let's see how it seems to. I'm trying to figure out if is it more responsive? I'll have to test that out. I wonder if I can plug in both at the same time. What would happen then? Oh, what would it do then? Let's find out. No pain, no gain. Feels weird that not all USB mice work, says Mommy. Thought HID stuff is universal baseline for all of them. Like I said, it's a pretty big ass. This is not like, this little Amiga mouse is not really like a standard mouse you would just go purchase on the, it's kind of it's made for a single purpose. I don't know, what type of, like I said, I don't know what type of pull-in or anything else it has going on. So it's not working if it was not plugged in before, but let's try launching it again. Oh, wait, did my, I'm got to replay. This SAM disk, it ain't great. It does disconnect from time to time for no particular reason. Could be power dip, could be something else. All right, so let's run the cart, and now we have both mice plugged in, and looks like it's gonna prefer the USB one. Now what happens if I just unplug it? Let's find out. Let's just unplug it unceremoniously right there in the middle, and look at that, it releases it to the serial mouse. So okay, so it overrides it by default. It's gonna do that. Yeah. Arcade Ages, what is up? We on NTSC or PAL? So we are on that little thing. So by default, This is the Commodore 64 Ultimate, and by default, it is on the PAL. And one of the reasons why they did that is because they've got a bunch of demo scene. They got a bunch of demo scenes preloaded, and all of those are PAL. So all the software that came with it is PAL compatible or PAL first, and so we are set to PAL because we just upgraded the firmware, and just to make it operational, we set everything back to default. Waffle Metal, what's up? All right, so let's take a look. So we can take a look at this. So we got the GUI 64 PAL version as well as the NTSC, but it'll run either way. It doesn't seem to really care. But yeah, there you go. That seems to function just fine. There you go. So there's your new firmware, 1.1, deprecating the old one. What was it, 3 something something to what it is now. There you go. Yeah, and also one of our favorite new things, if you guys are just now tuning in, let's take one more look at one of my favorite new features, which is making it making it so that my Starlight Edition operates with the SID light synchronization. So the sound synchronizes with the lights, or the light synchronizes with the sound is actually what I was probably trying to say. Here we hit demo scene here. We're going to go back to, let's see, there we go. This is one of the demos. Let's run that. And so in addition to getting the great sound from the demos, we also get some light flashing. So warning, there are flashing lights here. So let's finish loading this up. Bombast, because most demos and games are PAL. Definitely the demos, and plenty of the games as well, Bommy. Almost all of the PAL, all the demos are in PAL, and one of the reasons why is because there's more processes possible, more cycles, right? Is that what it is? I think there's more potential to get more power out of it on a PAL system. Oh, this is interesting. Does it seem like it's taking longer to you? You know what we did though? You know what we did? We got rid of the Jiffy DOS. There it is. There it is. By default, the new firmware, if you set it to defaults, gives you this great rocking out absolutely huge demo scene over in Europe. Yep. But we're trying to change that, right? No, I'm just kidding. Flashing lights, flashing lights. But yeah, you got your demo over here. And tied in with that is this good fun time. You can turn any 8-bit computer club meeting into a party now. So everybody break out their Commodore 64s and synchronize the demos. Ray says, can you show demo and computer at the same time? I do not currently have a button for that. That's a good, that is one thing. One of the things I did when I reset everything up was I tried to get away from showing too much on screen at once, and to my own detriment, it seems. Let's see, can we do it this way? No, cannot. All right, that answers that question. But yeah, I will try to set that up as well. All right. So we've confirmed that standard USB mouse seems to work with the new firmware of the Commodore 64 Ultimate. It seems to prefer it in at least the GUI 64. It seems to default to it before it goes to your serial inputs, where you would usually use joysticks and paddles anyway. But if you do have an adapter where you plugged in a mouse, that will be secondary. And it does seem to work in either USB port on the back of the Commodore 64 Ultimate. There's also a USB port inside, I believe. Isn't there? Before Tank, we definitely need a whole room full of Starlight Edition Commodore 64s. DeGerm, how is your Friday, Saturday going? Hope it's a good one. Hope it's going good! Krill of Plush. Now, we've been watching this demo here, so make sure you head over to, let's see, csdb.dk and look for this group. This is the Breeze Group, founded in 1995, and they ran that demo in 2002. And we do love the demo scene here. All right. What else? We're going to look at some sprites. Do we have time? Yeah, we got time, I believe. Let's see. Or no, we do not. Let's say, yeah, we got all the time in the world for the sprite stuff, but we didn't quite make it to the sprites. But we will kick off there next time. But this will let you know. Let's see here. We were looking at Sprite Magic, I believe, and I think before Tank Girl sent me a link on the Discord server, and if you go Sprite Magic on Google, it's just going to bring up some Sprite Magic. That's no good. So let's look if we get to see it. Commodore 64. Okay, so here's the Commodore 64 database, and that's Sprite Magic. Look at that. First thing that comes up. Oh, this is actually, oh, okay, so look at that. So the CSDB is not only great for the demo scene, it is also pretty awesome for having the Sprite Magic program in here. Look at that. Computes Gazette. So if you don't know what that is, so all right, let's roll back just a minute here. If you're just tuning in first time, you're like, hey, what's going on here? What's this guy's doing? This started off as me working towards developing a video game, my first video game for an 8-bit system. I went with the Commodore 64 because that's the one I grew up with, and this is my journey. And you guys have come along and said, hey, we want to ride in the bus too, and I'm like, hop in. And so it's turned into this. So one of the things I need to do is to get a sprite tool. I could just boringly not let you, I could just totally do this. So I ordered this. I mean, you could just get graph paper, grid paper, whatever. So I'd ordered this a while back, right? Oh, wrong one. I ordered this a while back, right? When I say a while back, late last year when I knew I was getting my Commodore 64. It's got programming examples. So in the back in the day, you would just, you could just take a piece of paper, grid it out, and, fill in some grids, right? Yeah. And draw you some sprites, and then, and then take all that into account, do some math. You just math up each of these rows, right? Yeah, so see, if you look over here, you know what might be easier? Let's go back to our rear cam. It might be a little closer so I can hold it more organically, right? So you got your sprite worksheet here. This is the areas you'd work in, right? And you'll notice at the top here are these little numbers. And so you just got to do a little math. And when you do the math, you put the data over here. And so when you're programming in the sprites, you draw it out here, you do your math, you fill it in here, and then when you do your programs, you just fill in the data numbers, and then you got Sprite Magic. Or you could get a tool like Sprite Magic, where it creates, you draw it on screen in your Commodore, right? Commodore 64, and then it outputs the data files. And what's great about this is it was a type-in program, right? So you could, from the Computes Gazette number 14, right? Volume 2, number 8. You could go through here and you could type it in, save it on your data cassette or on your floppy disk, and then you could do some Sprite Magic, and then it would dump out the data files. And this is a all machine language sprite editor. So what? Tank word, I know, right? Pure black magic. Waffle Metal says, never felt so ashamed of doing my sprites with AI. Right? Yeah. Don't. That's kind of the opposite of, right? That's the opposite of the spirit of sprites, right? Using AI. It's like, dude, you're like going in the opposite direction. But Computes Gazette still exists. Matter of fact, the latest issue is on this way to me. This is the first issue of the reboot. Computes Gazette was up in North Carolina, just up the road from where I live. My dad actually lived a few miles away from their corporate headquarters and used to drive by there every day on his way to work. And I'd been up there a couple of times. And but yeah, now they're in Texas and they've rebooted. And I've got the next one coming very soon. This is the first issue from last year. I can order that online on Computes Gazette's website. But yeah, so what we're going to do next week is we'll get this Sprite magic loaded up. I hadn't even thought about it. I was like, you know what I should do? I should type this in. That's what we'll do. We'll have a whole session where I type this in while we hang out. And I was like, hey, that's just too much. That's too much. And so, yeah, so we're going to do this one. There's a couple of other ones as well. There's Sprite Magic, and I'm struggling to remember the other one, but I'll have it ready for us next time. But as you can tell, someone's already typed it in for us, and they've thrown it into a program file, which you can just download if you have the Commodore 64 Ultimate, or if you got some like a Kung Fu Flash or something because you got a real Commodore 64, or if you're just using device emulation. It should work in any instance. You can just drag a PRG file right onto the Vice, VICE, and it'll start running for you. And then if you want to play along, we can do that. And this will load up here, and then we'll just have to use some shortcuts and some triggers. And we'll read all about that next week when we download this particular issue, Computes Gazette, off of archive.org probably. And we'll just kind of follow along and see what they say about the backside of it and how it functions. So we're looking forward to that on next week's 8-Bit Computer Club. If you have any questions or suggestions or feedback, you can send me a message over on, I was about to try to type this on my Commodore 64, but that would have not have worked. So let's see here. If you head over to 8bitcomputer.club, 8bitcomputer.club, that's a number 8, and bit computer. As you can see here, this is the 8-Bit Computer Club website. Just launched this a couple of days ago, and I'm going to start cataloging each episode and making my notes. Why? I was originally like depending on the videos, and I was using documents, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do all that, I might as well just freaking do it on a website. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Thank you to Jer for the bits. Thank you, sir, or ma'am, people. Thank you, people, for the bits. Thank you very much. But this is your local 8-Bit Computer Club, which is what we started calling this originally. But then I said, that's just too much. That's just a mouthful. The idea was that I had no local 8-Bit Computer Club. And so I was like, I'm going to have to go on the internet and find like-minded people and make a virtual local 8-Bit Computer Club. And so, you know, that's what I did. Thank you for the sub, Pass the Plunger. Thank you so much, Pass the Plunger. Welcome in. Where you at? Where you at? Thanks for the follow. Oh, did we get... Oh, I see what happened. We got some love. Oh, let's see what we got here. We got Anonymous Gifter gave out 5 community subs. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look at you. Thanks for the follow. So why is it? I'm not gonna talk about the bot right now. I'm not gonna talk about the bot. So yeah, thank you so much for that. For that Anonymous Gifter, for those community subs. Thank you so much. Enjoy your ad-free viewing for the month, and enjoy your emotes, your special emotes just for this channel. Thank you so much for that. Pass the Plunger got himself some free time there, right? Super Gas Giant. Oh, Conspiracy. Oh, what is that? Conspiracies TV. I'm definitely not saying that right. Thank you for the sub. How do you say that? Conspira. Somebody's gonna have to phonetically spell that to me. It's Waffle Metal. That could do that. I could do Waffle Metal. That's easy. So thank you so much, Waffle Metal. All right, but anyway, yeah. So if you want to go over to 8bit.club, 8bitcomputer.club. I'll get it right in a minute. You'll see we're starting to catalog everything, links to everything we're talking about, demo scenes that we're running, anything that we mentioned hardware-wise, I'll try to get on here and, just kind of recap stuff. You got comments, you can throw that down here, links to the streams and everything. Usually a little blurb on what's coming next. We'll do all that. But one of the things I would appreciate if you guys, I don't know if you do have your own local 8-Bit Computer Club. If you do, let me know. Shoot an email to 8bitcomputerclub@gmail.com, and I will get it listed on our page here. And we'll keep expanding this. Going to keep our schedule down here, contact information. Just trying to get a little organized. Happy to bookmark the site. Will be the second .club that I know of. Very good. Incognito. That's it. Waffle Metal. Fibonacci Brian. All right, let's see what we got. What else we got? First of all, I guess you don't need to see that. How about that? How's that for some inception for you? Look at that. All right, there we go. All right, I think we got all that. All right. What should we do here? I think we should go out with another demo. So let's get one more demo in. Like guys have been telling you guys, head over to Commodore.net and press play, I believe is the section. And it'll give you all the demos they have there. And eventually we'll work through all of these, right? Maybe we'll play a game next week as well. Let's see which one have we not seen for sure. Craftwork, did we watch that one yet? So it's more fun to compute. We haven't done that one. I think Discordia seemed interested in that one earlier. So I think that's what we'll do. It's more fun to compute. And this is from April 12th, 2024. And it comes from, it doesn't really say who the group is. Trap Bonsai and the Sarge Fairlight. All right, so let's check out this one more demo tonight. Let's check it out. We'll look at these fancy lights on our Commodore Ultimate as well. We'll do a little bit of both. We'll switch back and forth. Yes, let's watch the Kraftwerk. Tolbert says, can we get membership cards? I think we should. I think each membership should come with a package. And I think one of the things it should have in there is the pocket protector. And another thing should be membership cards. Laminated, of course. Yes, member cards. Winners use digital drugs. All right. It's more fun to compute. All right. This is pretty sweet. By the warning. Heed the warning. Flashing lights. Most demos. That's right for our backpacks. Oh, look, it's hitting the function lights. Kraftwerk. Patches. We got to have a package. Ooh, patches look like Mr. Robot. Yes. Kraftwerk. Ooh, Tolbert's got a glow for it so you can make stuff. We got to communicate. I would love to do all this in club. Like instead of ordering a bunch of stuff online. Because we're eventually going to have a meetup, right? We're going to have an 8-Bit Computer Club meetup. Loading. Yeah, I mean, I got a 3D printer. Several. Got a vinyl cutter? Yeah. Heck yeah, meetup. Tan's got all the controllers. Sweet pinball controller. This rocks. I'm also going to the CRT up next week. I've got my cable for it, but I got to get an extension. We need to have this place lit up. Lit up. This is a good call, Discordia. It does take 3 people to lift it up. 4 if you're all like shaped like me. You all guys are all singing the lyrics in your head, right? 'Cause I sure am. I like the simplicity of this. It is perfect. It is more fun to compute. Dancing with my 64. Oh yeah, let's share Scott. I really thought about inviting Scott in on doing this stuff, but I just don't think he likes. It's not that he doesn't like 8-bit computers. I just don't know if he likes 8-bit computers. Oh yeah, that would be great, Wraith. I'm sure you could probably program it to do that, right? Oh, does it? Oh man, cost double in Brazil. That's a bunch of crap. Well, next time you come visit, maybe we'll order you one. When you get to the States. Yeah, I think you would dig this groove. Oh yeah, Scott has to live in the modern too, man. He's got the core and stuff. He's got to, he's got to live in the modern. I don't have to live in the modern. I do like living in the modern, but I don't have to. I mean, but how modern is this? Yeah, Scott's got so many things going on. Oh, I think that may be the end. Oh, they have an end? Okay. The Sarge. Trap. TSJ. Yeah, definitely, Scott's is definitely more of the arcade stuff, right? He did a lot of console stuff too, though. I think he's just got too much going on. Talbert says, can you imagine seeing that level of LED flash when we were kids the first time around? My dude, I couldn't even imagine it. I mean, LED lights, man, just LED lights alone are just would have blown my mind. You ever broke out an old flashlight and went, what is this warm, low crap? Right. Yeah, they're only red, right, Talbert? All right, well, hey, I've had a blast tonight. Hope you've had a great time on the 8-Bit Computer Club. Hope you guys have a good weekend. I may be back Sunday night. I'll definitely be hanging out with Tonda Gasa tomorrow. So if you're not following Tonda, be sure to follow Tonda. I'll be around lunchtime, probably, I'm assuming. If that's what you're doing, Tonda, are you doing that tomorrow? Be doing some lurking, doing some stuff around the office. Probably desoldering this keyboard. There you go. Thank you, Monkey. In the meantime, we're going to raid in one of our good friends, Atari Beer Pong. If you like this vibe, then you're going to like Atari Beer Pong, taking some RNG Fridays, viewer request, Atari, Sega, Nintendo, and DOS games. Got real hardware going on. Nice guy. Mostly wholesome. 12 to 6 p.m. tomorrow with time to gossip. Yeah, Scorio, it was good seeing you tonight. Hope you had some good snacking. Yeah, it was good to see everybody. Thanks for that anonymous gift earlier. Thank you for that sub. Conspira, better known as... I'm gonna figure out how to say it. I'm gonna figure it out. The Chirp, cheers some bits. Thank you so much. 200 bits. Build time, get 500 bits. Hello, Kitty Pez. Gave us that resub. Thank you guys so much for your support. And expect to see names and handles here next week for supporters. Thank you so much. Let's raid in on Waffle. Yeah. Oh, Waffle. Yeah. I know you're Waffle on the other side. But I want to say the one that's over here too. Or so I just say Waffle. I'll just say Waffle. I'll just translate it in my head every time. I will see one and I will turn it into the other. Chow? Is it Conspira Chow? Conspira Chow, right? Conspira Chow TV too. There should be an AI, right? I don't know. There should be no AI. I'm playing more Splatterhouse RPG tomorrow. Very good, Tonda. Maybe fishing games. Ooh, I hope you can bring out some of those controllers. All right, here we go. Let's raid in on Atari Beer Pong. Craft work.